Hey guys, welcome back to Mark Fisher Outdoors. We appreciate you tuning in, and today we're going to talk about line. This is the time of year that you should be thinking about the line you're going to purchase for next fishing season. Stick around, guys. We'll talk about why, and I'm going to give you some tips that I do to try and plan for next season when it comes to my fishing line. Welcome back to Mark Fisher Outdoors, everybody. I'm Mark Fisher. Guys, we appreciate you tuning in. We've got tips Monday through Friday, and if you aren't a subscriber, please think about hitting that subscribe button right now. We know that probably 60 to 70% of the people who are watching this video right now aren't subscribers to the channel. Why don't you make today the day that you hit that subscribe button, that notification button, and you'll be notified every time we put a video out. So let's talk about line. This is the time of year, guys, that I'm starting to look at the line that I've got left from last year. And I'm starting to kind of make some decisions about what line I'm going to buy. So there's a couple of factors that go into this. The first thing that I want you to keep in mind is that when you buy line, I highly recommend buying line in bulk. Now, again, it depends on the type of fishing you do and how much fishing you do. But the reality is that line is much less expensive when you buy it in bulk. Now, buying it in bulk and then having tons of line left over that you're keeping for 2 or 3 years, that's not really good, because you don't want to have that line that's 3 years old. In my opinion, I wouldn't want to be trusting and using old line. My goal is to try and purchase the amount of line that I'm going to need for next year and get right around as close to it as I can. But I don't want to do that by buying little small spools of line, because quite honestly, it's more expensive. And quite honestly, and again, we're talking about my cheap side of things. We all know this. You buy a small spool of line, you put it on your reel, and you're in a position where, okay, I got 1 reel's worth of line on it, and now there's extra line on that spool that I bought from the store, but it's not enough to fill your reel again, and so now you got a bunch of wasted line. So buying it in bulk is more efficient as well. You don't want too much where it goes bad, but you don't want to buy it in small amounts. So here's what I do to combat that problem. I will take a look at what I used last year. How were my estimates last year? I thought I was going to need X amount of 8-pound line, X amount of 18-pound line, and so on, and then compare it to what I actually used. I kind of messed up here. I bought this 18-pound line and didn't really use much of it at all. Now, that could have been the type of fishing that I was doing. I thought maybe I was going to be using heavier line and didn't need it as much or whatever. But the point is, I'm going to make my estimates based on what lakes that I'm going to be fishing, how often I think I'm going to be fishing, and I'm going to go ahead and buy that line to meet my needs at those places that I'm going to be fishing. Now, one other thing that I do, and you can see this, is that I will write, I think I've got that there. Where is it? I will write the year that I bought that. I bought that in 2024. Because now, when I'm using this 18-pound line in 2025, if I were to buy more 18-pound line, which I'm probably not going to do, but if I were, I'd want to use this spool before I use the 18-pound line that I bought in 2025. I want to use up my older line first before I buy the line that I just bought recently. So again, taking this tip, what I'm suggesting is take a look at the line that you've got. Make sure that it's marked. Okay, I bought this in 2024, for example. Looks like I'm going to need some more 8-pound, some more 20-pound, some more 15-pound, whatever the type of line that you're going to need for next year. and look at the amount that you're guessing that you're going to need. Buy it in bulk, buy it in larger spools based on your estimates from last year and based on how close your estimates were. And then make sure to mark it with the year that you purchased it so that you can use the older line first before you start taking that brand new line that you just purchased. Be able to use up that older line before you get to your newer line. Remember, guys, you always want to keep any line that you've got spooled, keep it kind of airtight in the containers as much as possible. Keep it closed up and sealed. I like using Plano boxes and just keeping it in there, keeping it in a relatively cool place. The heat, the sun, those are the things that are going to damage your line. So keep it in a nice, cool place, closed up, sealed until you're ready to actually use that. Those are some tips I have. Get out there and start making some notes about what line you're going to need. Order that line in bulk, save yourself some money, and get yourself ready for the springtime. And you got new line, and you're ready to get out there and go fishing. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We appreciate it. We'll see you again tomorrow on another episode of Mark Fisher Outdoors. Take care, everybody.